Hey, what's going on, you guys? Pat Platypus here, giving you guys my review for the first 3 episodes of Hunter x Hunter slash Hunter x Hunter. I'm probably going to be pretty all over the place in this review because there's a lot to cover in these first 3 episodes, but I should be able to, I'm going to summarize all three so you guys know the basic gist, that way I can jump around. So basically, the first episode starts out, you get this little intro narration about unexplored lands and unexplored places and treasures and stuff, and that hunters are the people that go after exotic animals and treasures and all kinds of stuff, which is nothing phenomenal. And then you get the theme song, which is okay, I guess. I don't even know what it's called, but um, it's kind of meh. So if it's the same theme song for the entire series, then the theme song is meh. But it's got good animation though. So the episode starts out on Whale Island. Can't imagine why they call it that. It only looks exactly like a whale. And you meet villagers, and they're basically talking about how, if I remember, they're talking about how if Gon, who we haven't been introduced to yet, catches the Lord of the Lake, or the big fish, badass fish of the lake, then his caretaker, Mito, will let him take the hunter exam to become a hunter, which he does, and it's pretty cool. He's like fishing for it, and he's pulling on the rod, and he like wraps the rod around a tree and pulls down with his own weight. And I know that that's a different intro. Maybe it's the same intro in the manga, but I know there's more to the manga, the original source material. Um, so it's kind of weird how they changed it. And it's very rushed, too. You don't really get introduced to his caretaker that much. He kind of packs his bags. They have a goodbye scene, which the goodbye scene is effective for not knowing these characters all that well. Because, I mean, they give Gon, because he's a kid, they give him, like, the most adorable voice ever. But very rushed intro. But basically, yeah, he packs up, and essentially his father wanted to become a hunter. He abandoned his child to be a hunter. I know, douche. But Gon doesn't really take it that way. He kind of thinks to him, he kind of, what I got out of it was that he is like, wow, being a hunter must be like the most amazing thing. Like, I want to see, like, I mean, he's like excited to see how awesome it is. Like, he wants to see how awesome it is that it's so great that even a guy would abandon his child for it, essentially. And he's thinking that, oh man, if a guy's going to abandon his child for it, it must be amazing. So he wants to be a hunter. So he goes to this ship, and little does he know the exam has already begun. But so he's on the ship, and basically there's no one of note. The captain is obviously giving the exam, but they don't know. The only two people of note are Leorio and Kurapika, who looks like a girl and sounds like a girl, but is still not as gay as Sasuke from Naruto. By the way, Sasuke from Naruto, if you've seen that show, he's a complete ripoff of Kurapika. I already knew that before watching this series. I knew a little bit about the series, but now it's confirmed. Oh yeah, he is a complete ripoff. Oh my god, dude. Well, that whole series is a ripoff of Hunter x Hunter. Not, whatever. The first half. But anyway, you get introduced to them. They have backstories. They have their attitudes. Leorio is pretty much just kind of greedy and kind of silly. Not really comic relief, but kind of. And Kurapika is really serious, but not like dark and brooding and emo. Just kind of very formal with conversation. And then you have Gon, who's, he's doing cool stuff. He's on the ship, and he's like, oh, there's a storm coming. And they're like, how the hell could you possibly know that? And he can, like, smell it and shit. And essentially what happens is Kurapika and Leorio get in a fight, and they're going to battle. And the animation was so hyped on this. Like, I was like, what is this? Because, like, it's an anime, so obviously they have high production values, especially for the first episode. First episodes usually have pretty high production value. So I'm watching this episode, and they're standing out in the boat. It's raining, and their clothes are blowing in the wind and shit, and it looks all, like, dynamic and, like, really detailed, and they're pulling out their weapons, and then the water splashes, and it's all epically detailed, and then they don't even fight. So I don't know, like, why they hyped up the animation so much in such a weird spot. And then this guy goes overboard during the storm, and Gon rescues him, almost killing himself, but he's like, yeah, but you guys caught me, so, So I like him. I like his attitude. His voice is kind of adorable because he's a little kid, and it's pretty cool. So that's where the first episode ends. The second episode, I spent way too much time on that, oh my god. So the second episode is basically the next part of the exam. I forget how much was covered in this episode. I want to say quite a bit, actually. They go into town, and there's this really cool scene where they're supposed to take this bus to get to a city, but Gon just doesn't want to. He decides to go a different direction, takes a hint from the captain, And Leorio, he's stupid, so he's like, no, I'm going to take the bus. But then he overhears these guys talking like, oh yeah, if you take the bus, you're screwed. It's a trick. So he doesn't. He goes with them. And that's cool. I like that. And I love how Gon is just like, well, not instinct. He got a hint from the captain, and he trusts him. So that's cool. So all three of them go with Kurapika and everything. And they end up going to this forest. Or no. First, they get to a person who's asking questions. Like he gives you like this. Old lady thing, gives you questions regarding like the most impossible choice is like, okay, so this guy has your mother and your wife, and you can only save one. Who do you choose? And this guy who was tailing them sneaks up. He goes in front of them and he chooses the mom because you can't replace your mother. You can replace a lover. And she's like, all right, you can go past. And then they have to answer the question. And Leorio's pissed about it. He's like, how can you answer that question? There's no right answer. He's actually ready to attack the old lady, but then they realize, well, Kurapika realizes that the answer is silence because you have to really think about it. You have to be put in that situation. And that's what Gon figures out. Kind of. He doesn't figure out that silence is the answer. He just kind of still is thinking about it, which is cool. I like how they get to ask the question, and Kurapika and Leorio are like, oh, we got it right. Silence. Okay, let's go. But Gon is actually really thinking about the question. He doesn't know what he's going to do. So I like that. I feel like he will be put in a situation like that later. He's a cool character. He's interesting. And basically they get let through. They go down a different path. The other guy, he answered the question wrong. The chick was like, oh yeah, you can pass. But she didn't say that was the right answer. She didn't say you're going down the right path. She said you can go. So I like that too. It's very cool how each test isn't what it appears to be. And that happens later too, because in the next part, they go into the forest. They're supposed to meet these people who are supposed to take them to the exam place, or it's supposed to be the exam place, but it's being attacked by these shape-shifting, weird, I don't even know how to describe, animal weasel things. And they're going after them, and there's this forest chase, and Gon's going after this one. He lands a hit. Kurapika rescues one of them. Leorio stays behind to help this guy heal. And then there's kind of a mini exchange of the shape-shifting monsters kind of shifting into Leorio to trick Kurapika, but that doesn't work. And there's two of them, actually, you find out. So they switch places with each other, and Gon completely knows that, which is really cool. There's this scene where he's about to attack, and he's like, oh, you landed a hit on me and everything. He's about to attack him, and Gon's like, you're not the one I hit. Where's the one I hit? And it's, like, impossible to tell the difference between them. Like, he's like, oh, yeah, I can hear the different pitch in their voice, and their eyes are a little different. And it's like, no, no one can see it other than him. So, yeah, he's really interesting. And then you find out that the two people, the couple that they were with, are also shapeshifters, too. It's part of the test. And they all pass, and it was cool how all the tests have been different than what you'd expect. 'Cause at first they thought, rescue this couple, but, So then they get carried over to the exam site, and that's where the second episode ends. I think I'm skipping over a few things, but I'm giving you, like, the main bulk of everything. And then they get taken to, like, this sushi restaurant. There's a secret. This is the third episode. Secret password. They go down in this room, and it turns out to be an elevator, and we see more of Kurapika and Leorio's clashing ideals of what a hunter should be. Leorio's like they should be rich, and Kurapika's like they should be proud warriors, and Gon's like, staying out of this shit. He doesn't want to be part of it. I'm glad he's not completely oblivious to every situation that he's in like a total idiot. I'm glad he's like, no, I don't want to answer. He's not completely stupid for being a young character, especially in a shonen manga anime series. Usually they're pretty dumb. Then you have, it turns out the room's an elevator, so they're going down the elevator, and they make it to the exam place, and there's all these badass looking dudes. You get introduced to all kinds of dudes, like, I don't remember their names, but they all have entry numbers. There's like 404 people, and this dude comes up to them, and he's like, you guys are the new guys. I don't recognize you or whatever. He's taken the test like 35 times and shit. Also, Naruto kind of copies that too. They copy the entire Hunter exam, actually, which is just blatantly despicable for a series to just completely copy like that, but I digress. So yeah, he's like, oh, hey, you guys, he's being all friendly, and he offers them a drink and everything, and I wasn't sure if he was being a nice guy or if he was bullshitting, but I was more leaning towards he's bullshitting, and he turns out he is bullshitting, and the drinks they're going to drink or have laxatives in them. But they don't drink it. Gon can taste it, even though it's not supposed to be tasteable. He can taste it, and it's not in like a, oh, I know what you put in this drink. It was like, oh, this tastes really bad, so he doesn't finish drinking it. The others don't drink it, and he kind of like gives an intro to everybody. Like he's talking to them. He's like, oh yeah, that's that guy, this guy, that guy. The only one of note was this character named Hisoka, who I have known about, and he turns this guy's arms into flower petals. Yeah, he just kind of does it, like no apologetic, just flower petals. I don't know. I actually did look up in the manga chapter, and in the manga chapter of the original, the guy just didn't have arms. So I don't know if the anime like censored it at all with the flower petals or whatever, but kind of seems like that. But whatever, it was. What? It's weird. What the fuck? This dude looks crazy, fucking weird and shit. And yeah, he introduces a couple other people. I don't remember their names. There's one dude with this weird head shaking thing. He was kind of creepy, and a couple other guys. There's this one computer nerd dude who figured out who he was, like immediately. He figured out that this guy's going to try and con him into drinking a weird thing, and it was cool getting introduced to who are probably going to be the prominent people, because everyone else is just fodder. They're just random hunter dudes. They look really generic. And they start running, basically. They have to do this running test. Oh, and we also get introduced to another main character. His name is Killua, and he knew that there was something in the drink, but he drank it anyway because his body's trained for it. I don't know, he's kind of a badass, I guess. He has a skateboard. If you have a skateboard, I guess you're a badass. And they have to start running. They don't know where they're going, but they have to run, and I guess it's supposed to be an endurance test. And that's pretty much where the episode ends. Again, probably skipped over a couple of things, but it was still enjoyable. Nothing major has happened yet, and the animation overall has been pretty. Like I heard the animation in this show was really good, so honestly, it's kind of disappointing me on that aspect. But I'm sure when it gets to a really epic scene or whatever, the animation will jump in quality. You kind of have to work your budget when you're doing a series that's already over 100 episodes. You got to plan it out properly. Especially fucking One Piece is, I think, in like the 600s right now in Japan. I don't keep current with it, but yeah, it's fucking crazy. Fucking crazy how long they last and how much money has to be put into them. So some not so good animation is understandable. So that's my, I kind of reviewed it as I was summarizing it, but overall thoughts, I think it's good so far. I think it's okay. I'm already enjoying the characters and the situations more than other series that I'm actually farther into. So that's really cool. And I've heard it's great, and so far I can see the potential, so yeah. I'd give these first 3 episodes each, like first episode, because the first episode was a little rushed in the beginning, so maybe like a 7 out of 10. I would say like an 8, because I did really enjoy it overall, but probably like a 7 because of how rushed it seemed at first. And second episode was the fight, it was the questions, and then the fight in the forest and everything. That episode I would give like an 8. And the third episode, introducing all the characters and everything, it was a good setup episode. I'd give it like a 7.5. So that's my review for the first 3 episodes. I'm excited to keep going. I'm excited to go 1 episode at a time and share my thoughts on it and soak in the episode a little more. So anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.